Welcome back to the Jenks and Hammer podcast. Today is a huge episode, big debate, top 10 quarterbacks of all time. You already know who's going to be number one, Aaron Rodgers.
Hell no.
I'm
Get the
kidding.
hell out of here.
I'm kidding.
Let's
I'm
get
kidding.
right into it,
Let's
guys.
get into it.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Here we go.
All right, guys, getting right into it. So we just want to clear things up right off the bat. So this list is going to be mainly newer age quarterbacks, like 1980 and up. So guys like Otto Graham, John Unitas, and Roger Staubach aren't really going to be included because we feel like they're great quarterbacks.
Different type of game now.
Yeah.
It's just different QB style play. It's elevated, so didn't make the cut.
So that we're not denying that they're great.
And Eli Manning didn't make the cut. So Giants fans, let's hear it in the comments. All right,
Giants fans, get it all out. Get all the hate out in the comments.
Yeah, he didn't make the list.
At KO, huge Eli stan, and he's not getting the list.
No.
All right, at number 10, I'm starting off with a great quarterback right off the bat who, I think gets as much credit as he deserves. Like, he's just rated just right. I think Steve Young at number 10 is a great spot for him because he played a good amount and he had a ring and 2 MVPs, only 33,000 yards. He played a little bit under Joe Montana, and he still had a great career for how many years he played. I think it was like 9, maybe 10, and he had a great season, great career.
Yeah. 1 Super Bowl, 2 MVPs. I have him at the same spot, number 10. The talent, he did it in the passing game, the running game. And yeah, I mean, he took over for Joe Montana, and really there was no stoppage, you know what I mean? It just the beat went on.
Period, yeah.
His connection with Jerry Rice is probably better than Montana and Rice.
That's a hot take.
No, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
I don't know. Yeah, either way, Jerry Rice had a good connection with everyone because he's just the GOAT. So, John, who do we have at 9?
True. I'm going. Are you going at 9?
You want me to? Okay, I'll just keep going. All right. So number 9, this one, a little bit of a debate here. Number 9, I'm going to put Brett Favre. 71,000 yards or 72, 508 yards or 508 touchdowns. But here's the thing: he had 3 MVPs and 1 ring, and then at the end of his career, he kind of went a little bit awry, and he went to the Jets and then to the Vikings. But his time on the Packers is undeniably great, through and through. So that's why I'm gonna get him at 9.
Yeah, I mean, I got him in the kind of the same range. I think this is a good range for Brett. Brett was, I mean, arguably, I think you got to put him maybe, I don't know, as a talent, might be top 5 all time at the QB position. I mean, his arm was unlike anyone else's. It was a rocket. I love Brett. He was awesome. The thing about him though was just the turnovers. Look at these, interceptions, 336 picks. You know, I mean, and then we didn't even put in the fumbles too. But
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's what you get. He was that aggressive play style.
He turned the ball over a lot. He was a gunslinger, but the talent was there. He's a champion, and he's a 3-time MVP, and he won those MVPs back to back to back. So,
yeah, and I think that's another reason why I only have him 9. It seems like because he had those 3 great years, and I think it was more of the first half of his career, and then after that, it wasn't like he didn't fall off and like he didn't fall off a cliff completely. Like, but he was never.
No, he was always good. Yeah, I mean,
he was still solid.
Yeah,
his whole career.
He did this in the 1990s, right? 1995, 1996, and in 2008, he was in the NFC Championship game. You know what I mean? I mean, we're talking about that's 10 plus years later. He's in the NFC Championship game as the number 1 seed against the Giants.
And I'm just gonna give
lost, but
as a Saints fan,
he didn't really fall off.
As a Saints fan, I'm just going to say thank you to Brett Favre. One of the main reasons we made it to the Super Bowl. Tracy Porter coming across the middle, pick right before the end of the game.
That's what he gets for being a Viking.
Brett Favre, that's what we're talking about here. Is his picks cost him possibly a trip to the Super Bowl on the Vikings. So, it's one of his major flaws. That's why he's so low on the list.
Yeah.
And then at number 8, I got one of the best consistent quarterbacks his whole career. This guy was just great. Like he was great for this team, the Broncos. I don't know if he's still like owner or whatever he is up over in Denver, but John Elway, 51,000 yards, 300 touchdowns, 226 picks, 2 rings, and 1 MVP. This guy was just Mr. Consistent over there. Like this guy was always good for him, and I think his whole career, yeah, he left well. He just great quarterback his whole career. That's why I got him at 8. He didn't really have any dead periods that I know of, and I just think he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, good talent. Had good talent around him. Was a dual threat. Won MVPs. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean
I
two
like the
rings.
range. I like the range. It's not my exact spot, but yeah,
Where, are, where do you have him?
I'm at 7.
7. All right, so I'll get into my 7, and you can say yeah. So 7, I got the young goat here. I think everyone knows where I'm going with this. Young goat, Patrick Mahomes. I think he's going to be number 1. I think he's going to reach number 1 by the end of his career. I think he's played for 5 seasons and he's already at number 7. What does that mean for him? Guys like Tom Brady played 20 years. Peyton Manning played plus 15. Drew Brees played 15, I think, something like that. So this guy, Patrick Mahomes, 5 years, and he already has 2 MVPs and 2 rings. What else is he gonna do?
And you
Like
said 2 years. 2 years with over 5,000 yards, right?
2 years
Pretty
already
wild.
in his career. And I'm just
I
gonna
don't
throw this
even.
out there.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is the only other quarterback to do that twice.
hmm
So
I don't think.
twice and twice, and then there's one other quarterback
I
who
don't
has
think.
done
I
it
don't
5
think.
times.
I'm
But I'll
pretty
do that
sure.
later.
I don't think Rodgers has hit 5,000 yards once.
No, I don't think he had. Yeah, and
I don't think so.
5,000.
Which I
It's
mean
been
isn't a
done.
big deal. That's not saying yards is like this is the defining trait that makes you a good QB, right? Let's not we're not saying that, but it's an impressive stat. It's
No,
not
it's
right.
definitely
You could throw a 2 yard pass, a screen pass, and go for 60 yards,
yeah,
right?
for
It's not
sure,
let's
for
not
sure.
say
I
like
think
yards is like, all right, this is you're a good QB because you throw this many yards a game, but it's impressive, right? It's
yeah, no,
another number.
it's something that
Factor in.
bounces off. Like it bounces off the stat sheet right away. Like that's something
Yep.
that pops out, and you just instantly like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So he's done it twice. Tom Brady's done it twice. No one else has done it twice, other than one more person who did it 5 times. Um, and I think there's only 8 times it's ever happened, including Patrick Mahomes twice. So like 4 other people have done it at all. So it's a really impressive stat. Um, but yeah, I just think I think he's going to reach number 1 eventually in his career. So number 7 right now, but big things are on the come up for Patrick Mahomes.
Cool.
Number 6, I got Dan Marino, who I think, this guy, Dan Marino, he's a quarterback who never won any Super Bowls. And that's something that a lot of people are kind of like, oh, Super Bowls, no Super Bowls. Like, that's a big thing. But Dan Marino was a game changer in the 1980s. Like, this guy came out and had 5,000 yards. And I think it was 1982, 1983, 1984, one of those years.
hmm
And that was just like, holy,
Yeah.
like, no one had ever done that.
Him in
That's
that
ridiculous.
offense. Yeah, he changed the league. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ace Ventura, big thing is I think he should have won a Super Bowl, but then the kick or whatever, something happened there. But the Dolphins for the longest time were relevant because of Dan Marino, and they're just now getting back to relevance because of Tua and Tyreek and all of them. But he was the one who made the Dolphins a team. He put them on a map, made them relevant. Dan Marino, top 6, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. I have him a little lower, but keep on going. I have him a little lower because I just factor in. It's tough to factor in the stats and the winning and everything together. Not bad.
Yeah,
I'm a little lower.
I mean, I think John and I have the same quarterbacks. So John at the end will give like his exact rankings, but we have the same
Mhm.
top 10 through and through. Like
Top
these,
10, top 10 QBs. The order is
Mhm.
different.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
think I think the top 5 is going to be really different.
yeah, we'll probably get into an argument once we get into
Yeah.
the top 5.
Yeah.
But this this these 10 guys, like they changed the game for their teams, for the NFL, for everything. So that's why we have these guys in the top 10. Like the older guys, like we said in the beginning, just aren't there because that like it's a different game.
It's
Um,
different.
at number 5, jumping right off the bat, I have who I think might be one of the most. He's not okay. I'm gonna say he's overrated, but he's not. He's still one of the best all time. Joe Montana at number 5.
Hell no.
Joe Montana at number 5 because here's the thing. Although he only played 10 seasons before he got hurt, kind of went downhill. He went to Kansas City, didn't really do much.
What do you mean didn't do much? It was an AFC Championship game.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but he didn't win a Super Bowl or anything. Like he's
Didn't
still,
do much. All right, like winning the
yeah,
Super
but
Bowl is easy.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Here's the thing: 40,000 yards, 273 touchdowns, 139 interceptions. He had 4 rings, which is everyone's drawing thing. Like
Yeah, 4
Terry
rings.
Bradshaw has 4
He's a
rings.
winner.
Terry Bradshaw has 4 rings. Where's he? He's not here because he's not the best. Like Joe
Yeah, but
Montana
Terry
has 4 rings.
Terry doesn't have a nickname like Joe Cool. His nickname's Joe
Doesn't
Cool for a
matter.
reason.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He was
cares?
cool under
I
pressure.
don't care.
He
I
was
don't
awesome. He's
care.
a winner. The stats don't
Who-
matter that much to me just because it was such a different game back then. Yeah, he had good talent around him, but like it's Joe Montana. Like
yeah.
go,
I mean,
go ask,
here's the thing.
hold on. Go ask Tom Brady, go ask Aaron Rodgers who they looked up to, who they wanted to be,
Of
who they're
course,
playing as
you
in
could
the
ask I
backyard.
think you could ask any quarterback from this time period. Any quarterback.
Montana.
I think Drew Brees
Fine.
would have said
That's
that.
disrespectful. That's bad.
I don't think it is because here's the thing: all the other quarterbacks above here had more stats and were more talented in quarterbacking in general, like in the pocket, on the run,
But
anything.
they
Like,
hold on, but they didn't win.
but again,
And
he
I
had one
don't
of the best
and
teams of all time. He
they
had
didn't
great
win and
teams
they
around him
weren't
his
as
whole career.
clutch. And they weren't as clutch.
I don't think so. I think Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady are all more clutch.
That's not true.
Dude, these guys.
That's not
Okay,
true.
Joe
Look,
Montana
I love Aaron Rodgers as much as the next guy. All right.
in the playoffs.
Aaron
I'll say this: in
Rodgers
the
and Drew
playoffs, Aaron
Brees.
Rodgers is not. Drew Brees is one of them. Drew Brees in
Neither
the
is
2-minute.
Breeze.
Drew Brees in the
Don't get
2-minute
into
drill.
this.
Drew Brees in the 2-minute drill was elite. No one would stop a Drew Brees 2-minute drill. Tom
Like
Brady
when
and
he,
Drew Brees are two
like
of the best
like
2-minute drills of all time.
like when he threw that pick in the playoffs against the Rams
You mean when he got hit in the head
in
and he's throwing it
overtime?
like this?
In
Yeah, that's
overtime.
irrelevant. Yeah, that wasn't his fault.
What
He
do you
got
mean that
hit.
doesn't?
He
Oh
literally got
my
hit in the
God.
head. They were calling it all year.
Look,
I'm not
look.
getting into that.
If Breeze was amazing this 2-minute drill and he's clutching everything, he should have more than one Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah, let's talk. I'm not getting into the things that happened that stopped him
Don't
from
put
reaching a Super
Joe
Bowl.
Cool. It's
Joe Cool's at 5.
we're talking about clutch.
Done.
It's Brady, Montana, and then there's a drop off, and then it's whoever.
I'm not gonna. I can try to look up while you're giving your rankings. I'll look up
Go for
most
it.
comeback
Go for it.
drives ever in all
Go for
time.
it.
But Joe
Look,
Montana is at number 5.
I don't think Drew Brees' nickname is Drew Cool. It's not.
No, but he's still the most efficient quarterback of all time, and in the 2-minute drill was
He
elite. No one
is.
could stop it.
But we're not talking
I
about.
think
We're not talking about clutch. That's like
I think
he's accurate, but he's not clutch.
he was clutch. His whole career is
He
clutch.
wasn't.
And against the Vikings, before the Minneapolis Miracle, against the Vikings, he came back from, I think it was 14. It was double digits in the second half. Just started off, came back. They scored. He scored again. They scored. He scored once more to take the lead. He scored. They came back 3 different times in that game, and they choked because Marcus Williams missed a tackle. That's not on Drew Brees. He was clutch. He did his job. He did everything he could. And I think there were multiple 4th downs and involved in there.
Guess what? Guess what? Though. Guess what?
Yeah, Marcus Williams screwed it
No,
up.
no.
I'm not
Guess
getting
who?
into it.
Guess who beat Drew Brees at the end of the day? Case Keenum.
Yeah, he didn't beat him.
He,
No, Marcus
whatever.
Williams beat the Saints. That's
Case
literally what
Keenum.
happened.
All right, whatever. Get
That's
on the.
literally what happened. Anyways, number four, I got Aaron Rodgers. And here's the thing. Listen.
I give.
Him and Drew Brees, 3 and 4 interchangeable, no matter what. Like
No,
those two
it's not.
guys.
It's not.
Yes,
It's
100%.
not. It's not.
Because Aaron Rodgers is great. I didn't write down his stats. Sean, what are his stats? Just read them off real quick.
Aaron Rodgers,
I just don't have them written down.
59,000 yards, 475 touchdowns, 105 picks, 65.3 completion rate.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
4 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah. He's got the MVPs. Drew Brees, same amount of rings. Drew Brees has 80,000 yards, 570 touchdowns, 243 picks, highest completion percentage in a career ever. And I think he was robbed of MVP one time. I'd say that straight up, like he was.
Not
2009.
2011. Not 2011.
2009. You could.
Got a
I'm
boy.
just gonna say this.
Not 2011.
There's an argument to be made, but I'm not.
But
I
there's
don't
not.
really care.
But
I'm gonna
there's
say
not.
2000,
But there's not.
2009. 2009 is definitely the more important year where Drew Brees
Okay.
was robbed.
Okay.
2011, like you could. There's people that can make an argument for that. I'm not going to. And then also in 2008, Drew Brees had an insane year, but he had a lot less losses. So I'm not going to argue for that. But 2009, I believe he should have won MVP. He had 1 ring. Arguably could have won 2 if the no call didn't happen. That's the biggest what if in NFL history is the no call. Like straight up, it is what it is. Because I think the Saints could have beat the Patriots that year. It was the Patriots off year, and the Saints were red hot. Like they just were. And then the refs, that whole thing happened. Momentum cut. We're not getting into that. And then Drew Brees as well has most seasons with 5,000 yards, which we talked about earlier, and he has 5 of them. No one's done it more than twice. He has 5. He also has most consecutive games with a touchdown pass, 54, which is nuts. 54 games with touchdown pass straight. I think that was Johnny Unitas' record before him. Or I don't know that off the top of my head who that was, but and then he had career completion percentage 67.7. He also has the highest completion percentage in a game of all time. This one's nuts, 96.7%. But it wasn't dink and dunks. This was 29 for 30 on a game where he broke the record for most passing touchdowns of all time. He went out there against the Colts on I think Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, destroyed him, utterly destroyed him. He had a touchdown to I think it was Josh Hill, Taysom Hill.
All right,
Trey,
come on. What are we talking about?
he balled out. Like he threw
We're
it to
talking about-
everyone
we're
on the
talking
field.
We're talking about regular
This
season
guy was
game.
nuts.
We're talking about regular season game.
Yeah, where he broke the touchdown record and
Do you want me to talk about like
29 for
what are we
30.
talking about? Do you want me to talk about the time when
No,
Aaron
I'm
Rodgers,
just
Aaron
talking.
Rodgers threw 6 touchdown passes in one half? Like, come on,
And
just
then
get on with it.
Drew Brees threw for 7 touchdowns in a game. So
Aaron threw for 6 in one half.
yeah, but he didn't. Did he reach 7?
No,
That's
because they
still
took him
impressive.
out because it was a
Yeah.
whoop ass. What are we
They should have
talking about?
kept him in so we could get on the record.
No,
Then I would have talked about it.
Because we're not about records, we're about championships.
Anyways.
At Lambeau.
Anyway, yeah, but you have 1, same as Drew.
At
So
Lambeau, I said we got 4. You have 1. That's
okay,
a fact.
yeah, and 3 of them are
Get on with it. Get on with it.
3 of them are way long ago. So I'm not worried about that right now. I'm worried about quarterbacks, and we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees.
And I got 2 QBs in this list, and you got 1.
What are you talking about? Oh, okay, yeah.
Woo!
One's a 10.
Talk about
One's a...
Breeze. Talk about Breeze so I can.
Anyways, I think I'm done with Drew Brees. Like,
All right, can I
I'm gonna
talk
be
about Drew?
honest. Yeah, you talk about him. What are the issues with him here?
Look, to have Breeze over Rodgers, that's.
I'm interested.
What are we talking about? Like, really?
I'm talking about stats and what he's done.
So stats and what he's done. Okay. So
he had the worst
Super
ranked
Bowls-
defense
Hold on.
through like 6 years.
Aaron Rodgers' defenses have been terrible too. So let's
Aaron Rodgers'
check it out.
defense the last 3 years were the 3 of the best defenses in the league.
What are you
His last
talking
few
about?
seasons. His last
What are
few
you
seasons.
talking
Okay,
about?
last year, no.
They're
Last year.
barely top 10.
Doesn't matter. It's still a top 10
Throughout
defense.
throughout the 2010s, they've been terrible. But they have.
Not as
It's
bad as
been a
Saints.
terrible defense. All right, sure. I'm saying Aaron's
he
had
has
a bad
a-
defense too. Hold on, can I talk? You just talked
you
about
got it.
5 minutes about a Monday night game against the Colts. That
I can go on forever. I can go
whatever.
on forever.
I can do the same. Let's talk about Rodgers and Breeze. Super Bowl 1-1. Take that out. MVPs 4-0. Right.
Okay.
The stats.
Continue.
Does Breeze have better stats? Yes, he's the most
Yeah.
accurate QB of all time. I will say that completion rate does not lie. It's 67.7, right? Compared to Aaron's 65.3, right? Breeze will put the ball wherever he wants. You know what I mean? I've never seen anyone stick it on someone like he can, you know? And he's got better stats than Aaron, but Aaron's stats are pretty unbelievable. I mean, to have 475 touchdowns, only 105 picks, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Aaron does not.
I think
Aaron,
pick wise,
Aaron
Rodgers
does,
is
Aaron does not
ridiculous.
turn the ball over, right? He doesn't.
Unless it's against the Saints
He
in
doesn't turn the ball over.
2021.
What?
No, I'm just bringing up the one game when we
Get the
went.
hell out of here.
I think it was 38-3.
Hold on now.
I love
Who's go-
I love
but
rising
head
John
to head,
about that.
head to head, Breeze and Rodgers. Who's got more wins?
I have no clue.
Rodgers.
I have
Aaron
no
does.
clue.
Aaron does. You could look that up. What I'm saying, but yeah, Aaron's got
Okay,
more wins head to
yeah,
head.
It
But
was
that
against
doesn't even
Jameis.
matter because that's a team. That's a team game. No, it's not.
Yeah,
Not against Jameis.
it was. It was
But-
38-3 against Jameis. Jameis had like 5 touchdowns that game, and I thought Jameis was
I'm
the
talking about
future.
Breeze against Rodgers, dude.
Okay, I know. I'm just still talking about the
Saying
38-3 game.
Aaron has more wins over Breeze, all like head to head.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And look, like I said about the numbers, yeah, but then we go, then I say talent. And I say talent, Aaron Rodgers, right? He's more
Sure.
talented than Drew
Sure.
Brees. He is.
Sure. But then you look at the stats. And
Hold
then
on,
you
I'm
look
not
at
done. I'm not done. I'm not done. But
Okay,
then you look at a winner too. And we could say the Super Bowls, they both have one. But look at the wins in the regular season. Aaron has more wins.
Yeah,
He has more career
I'm
wins.
not doing it
Hold on.
because
He does though. Hold
yeah, but
on.
then you look at the defense, and Drew Brees had to play behind his whole entire life. He threw 7 touchdowns in a game, and had to win it last second. 7 touchdowns in a game. Name another quarterback that had to do that.
We're done talking about the Monday
that's
Night
ridiculous.
Football game.
No,
All
that's
right.
not. That's a different
I don't
game.
care. I know. I don't care.
It's
We're talking.
ridiculous.
It doesn't matter. Aaron
No other
is
quarterback could do
Aaron's
that.
more of a winner than Drew. Aaron is more of a winner than Drew Brees. That is a fact,
Okay, regular season doesn't matter though, right?
right? He's got more
This
playoff
whole
wins. He's got more playoff wins. He
yeah, but then when
does.
it comes to the NFC Championship game, he poops down his leg.
But he's
So
got more playoff wins. He's got more overall wins than Drew Brees, and he's more talented. He's got more MVPs, and yeah, Brees' stats are awesome.
and here's the
Aaron's
thing.
stats are awesome
Here's
too.
the thing.
And then
That's
here's the
why I
thing:
said they're
Aaron's still
interchangeable.
playing, and
That's why I said
Aaron's still playing, and he's gonna he's gonna
he's
make
not.
those better numbers even better.
Yeah, but he's still not going to be anywhere close to Drew Brees. How many yards did he have?
You just said
How many yards did he have?
they're
How many yards?
interchangeable, and then you said not even close.
No, I'm saying in stats.
How many
I'm saying in
yards?
stats. Yeah,
59,000.
yeah. So 20,000 less. I'm just saying. I think they're interchangeable. I'll give you that. Like anyone can make an argument for either two because
And
Drew
let's
Brees
talk
has the
about
stats and
let's
Aaron
talk
Rodgers
about
has
picks. And let's talk
the
about
talent.
picks. How many picks does Drew Brees have?
He's 243.
And how much did Aaron have? 105. So
Yeah,
what
but
are we
then
talking
touchdowns matter more. So
about? Touchdowns?
they matter more. Drew Brees is second all time.
Picks matter more.
But he's still second all time in touchdowns and
That's
yards.
awesome. And Aaron
Like,
has
it's
the best
ridiculous.
QBR and touchdown to interception ratio of all time.
But we
Right?
said we weren't. I thought we said we weren't talking QBR.
I took that away. touchdown to interception ratio of all time. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, that's great. That's what I'm saying. It's interchangeable. Because I think
it's
you
not.
and I, we
No.
both know you and I, we could go on for hours upon hours
I know.
upon this.
I know.
And we did it in the dorm. And then I don't want the podcast listeners to have to go through that. But
It's not.
again, interchangeable. I think anyone can make an argument for either two. So there's that. Number two, we're going to move on. We're going to move past it. John and I are still fighting the urge to keep arguing, but we're going to move past it. Number two, Peyton Manning, Mr. Omaha himself. 72,000 yards, 539 touchdowns, 251 picks, 2 rings, and 5 MVPs. This guy, for the Colts, he had the rookie year where he broke the record for most picks of all time, which was nuts. Like, no one expected that. But then he bounced back and became, for what seemed like forever, just Mr. Consistent. And he was tearing up every single defense, calling audibles, checking out of plays, checking into the right plays. You know, this guy could do everything. 5 MVPs, and it speaks for itself. 2 rings as well.
Whenever the
came against-
yeah.
Denver.
Whenever the Denver went to 2 Super Bowls, one MVP, right? Only won one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Denver
Yeah,
broke a lot of records, went to 2 Super Bowls. He won one. He kind of get carried, but hey, he still took him there, right?
And
Kind of. Brock.
Here's the thing. Here's the one thing I will say. Having 55 touchdowns in a season on the Broncos when he was up there in age is one of the most impressive things a quarterback has ever done. Because he was getting old and everyone thought, oh, okay, he's going to the Broncos and he's still going to be good, obviously, but he wasn't
Kind of
going to
like
be
Aaron with 47 or
nuts.
something.
Yeah. But I mean, like 55 is 8 more, but yeah, I get your point. So I got Peyton Manning at 2 because, you know, the guy I won, I hate saying it, but he's the GOAT. Number 1, Tom Brady. I think you either love him or you hate him, and most people hate him. Most people love him. It depends on who you ask. Tampa fans are rejoiceful over Tom Brady because he gave him something to cheer for a couple of years. Now they're gone. Tampa Bay is tanking. The Patriots fans, dynasty.
I don't think so. They can win the Super Bowl. They can win the division. I think they're going to win the division.
If you're keeping up with training camp, then you know that's not true.
I don't care.
Baker Mayfield's not taking them past
June. It's June.
They're tanking for Caleb Williams 100%. It's happening. I think they genuinely have a shot to tank for Caleb Williams. I think they might do that because they already have a good receiver core, and they what else do you have to lose?
Just like that, the Saints will be back on the bottom.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Best offense in the division easily. Maybe a top 5 offense in the NFC.
That's not
We're not-
impressive. That's not impressive when you
getting
look
into
at your division. That's not impressive.
No, and they have a top 5 offense in the NFC. So anyways, Tom Brady, dynasty for the Patriots. Straight up dynasty. Like when I said how Drew Brees might have won a second ring because of the no call if we made it that year, I'd say the Patriots had a down year that year because that's how dominant they were. They were making it to the Super Bowl. It seemed like every year, the NFC Championship. Then Patrick Mahomes came along and kind of put a little bit of a fight to it, but not much. And then that's when he switched. But they dominated the AFC his whole career down in New England, and he has 7 rings. No one's going to touch that. I generally don't think anyone is. If Patrick Mahomes touches 5, maybe 6, he's going to be the GOAT. But it's going to take him a lot. AFC is tough now, and I still think it's possible. But Tom Brady, 7 rings, and no one's touching it.
Yep. The fact that you even had to go into it, like at number one, why? Just say Brady's number one.
Yeah, but I mean,
pass it to me.
I have too much of a hate for Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I got to
well,
back it up.
I did too, but he's a good football player. So, all right. So for me, like we said, Johnny Unitas, Autogram, old guys didn't really put him in the list. Different type of game. No Eli Manning. Another one too. I got a Steelers buddy. I know maybe he's watching this. No Big Ben. I know he's got 2 Super Bowls. He got like a lot of passing yards. Played with some great receivers, but you know what? He turned the ball over a lot. Never won Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, anything like that. Even in the Super Bowls, the 2 Super Bowls he won, he played like crap in them. He made a really good throw against Arizona in the corner, but he played pretty bad. Even they won against the Packers, threw 2 picks. One of them was a pick 6. Was never really a big performer, like on the big stage, like at the Super Bowl. Like I don't know, had really good teams around him. Those defenses had weapons, but I mean, doesn't really crack the top 10. Top 15 though, I put Eli, I put Big Ben in that, maybe
Yeah,
top
for
14,
sure.
top 12, but doesn't really crack the top 10. So number 10, I got Steve Young, like we said, talked about it, but Steve Young at 10. And then the next 3 are kind of just like interchangeable to me. These next 3 are like, I don't know where to put them because they're all good in different ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
number
I get what you
nine, I
mean.
got number 9, I got Brett Favre. Number 8, I got Dan Marino. And number 7, I got Elway. So I got Elway leading the pack because, I mean, hey, he's got the Super Bowls. More of like a dynamic player.
Yeah, but
He could run too. Marino wasn't running.
yeah, but he
Brett
has
was good.
120 less touchdowns.
Who, Elway?
Yeah, than Dan Marino.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's not.
Marino, yeah, but I don't know. It's tough because you look at the numbers, but then I also put in winning and I put in talent too. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no rings definitely hurts Dan Marino, and that's
but,
yeah, I
but guess
get you're
what?
coming from.
Marino and Elway, same MVPs, 1-1. Elway was more. I don't know. I don't want to say more talented, but like he was more just like dynamic, could do more things. He could run. Marino couldn't really, Marino couldn't run. But I don't know. I mean, you can go. I mean, Brett's there too. He just threw a lot of interceptions. I hate that. To me, that's like the most important stat for a QB, like turning the ball over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
I
if you
agree with
don't,
you. I
'cause
agree with you there,
if you
but
don't turn the ball over a lot as QB, like you're doing your job. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no,
To me.
I agree with you. I think
So
it's to a
like,
point, but yeah,
is
for
Brett
sure.
top 10? Absolutely. He's Super Bowl champion, 3-time MVP. Changed the game. Talent was unbelievable. But then Marino and then Elway. I think it's more the switch with Elway and Marino. I'm sure you kind of felt that way too. It's kind of
Yeah,
like they're right
the la-
next to each other. It's kind of like
that middle of the bottom
it's
is
tough.
kind of
Yeah.
where you
It's
say,
like
hey,
you
this
know,
and this,
you,
this. Like,
yeah, you know the guys, but you don't really know what order to put them in.
yeah,
So, yeah. All right, and then here we go. Again, not gonna like this, but 6, I got Drew Brees.
yeah, too low.
Yeah. All right.
Easy,
6,
easily too low.
6, I got Brees. Like I said, unbelievable player. I thought about this a lot, kind of switching him with the next guy, moving him up to top 5, and you could do that. I wouldn't be that angry about it because in a couple of years this dude's gonna pass him. It just is what it is, So number 5, I got Pat Mahomes. I got him already at 5. Um, he's just unbelievable. Like he's the most talented ever. He's a winner. The numbers are unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like it's just he checks off every box. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, for
Checks
sure.
off every box. I mean, if you want to put Breeze ahead of him, that's totally fine. I mean, you could do that.
That's
You could totally do Breeze. I just put Mahomes ahead of him just to piss Grayson off. You could totally put Breeze at 5. I probably you know what? Look at this. Watch this. Doing the switch. So there we go.
yeah. For those watching
Can't see
YouTube,
it.
John
But you know
drew a
what?
little arrow.
I put in the switch. I put put Mahomes at 6. I'll put Breeze at 5. Breeze is just, I mean, it's all time, and Mahomes has only been playing for 5, 6 years, but Mahomes is going to be number 2, in my opinion, when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and I mean, here's
So,
the thing
you know,
that I think is awesome that we were able to witness is like we grew up watching, I think, the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, including Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron
hey,
Rodgers, and
we didn't
Patrick
watch Joe
Mahomes.
Montana.
Nah, he's falling out of the top 5.
No, he's not.
See ya, Joe. See ya, Joe.
All right, no. All right, but I mean, yeah, we grew up in a good era, but yeah, I mean, Mahomes is already up there. Like, I mean, think about it though. I mean, he just you won 2 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah.
he's unbelievable. He's gonna be 2 or 1 when it's all said and done. So I got him at 6 right now. Breeze is the next guy. Amazing. Um, I'm not gonna say he's the most talented. Um, Dude could put the ball wherever he wanted. Um, didn't have the best teams around him. The stats are awesome. You know what I mean? But he's not a winner. He's just not. And I'm just
I
gonna
don't
say
know about
that.
that. I
And
think he is.
I'm not saying Aaron's like the biggest winner ever, but like when you look at like Aaron's the next guy on the list, I have him at 4. Breeze is not a better winner than Rodgers. He's just not. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but I think
Look at the numbers.
that comes to teams. Like last
Doesn't
year,
matter.
yeah, but last year Aaron Rodgers had a better team than Drew had when he had his worst defenses and he couldn't make the playoffs. And I think Aaron Rodgers had a wide
Last
open
year?
opportunity.
What are you talking about?
I'm bringing up it's a random comparison, but I'm saying Drew Brees, like his teams,
Packers
when his
defense
teams were
sucked.
bad,
Packers
they were
defense sucked last year, dude.
yeah. But Drew Brees, his defenses when they sucked, they were like bottom tier of
I
all
get that.
time.
And
Like
you
they
can
were
have,
worst of all
I get
time,
that.
and you
I get
can't do
that.
anything
I
with
get
that.
that. But guess what? Aaron played with bad defense too. Maybe not
Not
as bad as that, but he played with bad defenses. And as Packer fans, we all know, like he put his team always in a position to win, and he won a lot of games.
But here's
He's more of a hold on. He's more of a winner than Drew Brees.
no, I'm
He's
saying
got
something
to
good. I'm
me
saying
to
something good.
me Breeze. Hold on, let me finish. Breeze, awesome numbers, but you know what? To me, the most important number is interceptions. And Aaron Rodgers did not turn the football over. There was a season when he only had 2 picks. Like he doesn't turn the football over. He's got those 4 MVPs. You know what I mean? Like the talent, and you know what? He won a little bit more than Breeze. So that's why Rodgers is, above Breeze.
Yeah, and here's one thing I will say that I think both Saints fans and Packers fans can be grateful for both of these quarterbacks. They were turning guys that weren't stars into stars at receiver.
It's
Like
true.
Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, they both had guys that they're not coming into the team that are
It's
instantly
true.
stars. Like
Yep.
Jordy Nelson was not instantly, oh, holy crap, Jordy Nelson's on the Packers now.
Jordy Nelson
their
played
team now.
safety. Jordy Nelson went to Kansas State, went in as a safety. All right.
Yeah, and look what Jordy Nelson turned out to be because of Aaron Rodgers and it's just that connection in general. Randall Cobb, I can name a lot, but for the Saints was Drew Brees, Marcus Colston was like a 7th round pick, turned into one of the best receivers in recent time. Like when he was on the field, he never made it to the Pro Bowl, which was BS, but you couldn't guard him in the red zone. He was a red zone threat every single game.
Mhm.
And that's something that Drew Brees and him had that connection because Drew Brees could put the ball wherever he needed to. And Marcus Colston always came down with the ball. And it's just how it was.
And that's the other thing I'm going to say too. When looking at this kind of top 5, type 6, you look at Brady, you look at Montana, you look at Peyton Manning, Mahomes. Even you could probably say like these dudes played. Like I feel like, I mean, Aaron had Devontae Adams, right? And Devontae is one of the best in the game. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. We're going to see where he ends up all time. He keeps on going at this pace. He might be top 10, but you know what? It didn't start that way. He was going to get cut, 3 years in. He
I
stunk.
remember. Yeah, it was
But-
terrible.
But like Breeze and Rodgers haven't really had, their receivers like Brady had. Like Brady had Gronk, Randy Moss, Edelman's, I don't know, arguably the best slot of all time. Up there, top 3, I don't know, whatever. Montana had Jerry Rice. Manning had a bunch of dudes, you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the Colts,
Reggie Wayne, yeah.
Denver too, like Demaryius Thomas. I mean, it was a whole bunch of guys. And Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, but like Green Bay and like Saints, like we had some studs. Like I said, we had Adams, they had Jimmy Graham, but like
Michael
you know,
Thomas when he was healthy. I mean,
but
that
like-
was Drew Brees'
Yeah,
end of his career. So
2-3 years. But it's like, that is the thing that I will say that about Rodgers and Breeze is the careers are very similar, and it's not just because they won one Super Bowl, but it's just the lack of like talent and the team and the roster that was like put around them. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
for multiple
Like
years of
it
their
was never
careers.
like
Yeah,
a go all in like Brady. You know what I mean? Like it was never like that
yeah.
for Breeze
Until
or Rodgers.
I'd say maybe 1 or 2 years for both the Rogers and Drew, where they had like teams that they were going into every year like they had a shot. Drew
Hmm.
Brees at the end of his career and like 2009 through 2012, they were really good. And then, or there was like, yeah, they were
Yeah,
pretty solid.
when Aaron
And
won the
then,
When Aaron won the Super Bowl, they were the 6th seed. Then you come in next year as a Super Bowl champ. Of course, that
yeah,
you think you could win
it's
it
viewed as
all.
higher. Yeah.
And you know what? That 2014 squad was good. And then I'll probably say the 2020 and the 2021. So 4 years, he went to the NFC Championship game all year, kind of, except for 2021. Won once, it is what it is. But you know what? They didn't have the same talent as some of these
And
other
they,
QBs
and
had
they drafted a
around them.
quarterback for Aaron Rodgers instead of a
Yeah.
receiver. Like
Yeah.
they weren't trying to give him more weapons. And that's one of the big reasons he wanted to leave. So
Yeah. Well, what the hell is that? We're not even talking about that. All
I
right,
know.
we're
I'm just
talking
saying,
about
like,
everything. But whatever.
that gives
You know
proof.
what?
Like, he
So
didn't have a great team.
let's just run down before I hit the top three. Steve Young 10, Brett Favre 9, Dan Marino 8, Elway 7, Elway Marino. You can change that if you want. Then I got Pat Mahomes at 6. I got Drew Brees at 5. I got Aaron Rodgers at 4. And number 3, I got Peyton Manning. Grayson talked about him. Most MVPs at all time. At all these QBs, 2-time Super Bowl champ, won it with 2 different teams. That's pretty special. The numbers are crazy. This dude just, he's a mechanic. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
relied on his footwork and his technique, and kind of like Breeze. They didn't have the talent. You know what I mean? Of course, everyone's got talent, but they don't have the talent like Breeze or like
It was more,
they don't have the talent like Rodgers and Mahomes. But
yeah.
they relied a lot on the smarts,
Yeah.
on
It's all in
the
their heads.
tech, a lot of other things. So of course, you got Peyton Manning up there. He's a winner. Numbers, everyone loves Peyton. You know what I mean? Like you love the Mannings, not Eli as much, but you love Peyton. You got to put him at 3. And number 2, you got to go Joe Montana.
No.
My dad is
Oh.
my dad's a Niner fan. This is what I grew up hearing. You know what? But he's a winner. Like he's a winner. Don't look at the numbers all too much just because he played in a different era. And you know what? He was injured a lot. He was. Because he was a skinny little guy, but like he defeated the odds because he was a little guy playing QB and he won a lot. And yes, did he have good teams? Yeah, but guess what? He was going against really good teams too. Like those NFC Championship games back then between the Cowboys and the Niners, those were Super Bowls right there. And he won those a lot. And then he went to the Super Bowl and then won that.
Can I just mention real quick? So you talked about clutchness and coming back and game-winning drives, everything like that. He's not top 20.
Hold it up. Who, Montana?
He's not even top 20 in game-winning drives. So
his nickname's Joe Cool. All right.
But he's not even top 20. You know
All right,
who is
well,
top 20?
Go look up the Super Bowls. All right.
Aaron Rodgers in 20, Tom Brady at first, Peyton Manning in second, Drew Brees third, and then a surprise on the list, upcoming Saints quarterback Derek Carr at 16. So Joe Elway is not even ahead of any of them.
So you just proved it right there. Who gives a crap about that list?
I do.
When
you made it a big deal about he's Joe Cool and he's clutch.
Because when you say Derek Carr is more clutch than Aaron Rodgers, come on, he's not.
No, but
right?
but Joe Montana is not more clutch than any of them.
It says in the list, right? It says Derek Carr 16, Aaron Rodgers 20. Come on, is that true?
Yeah, I didn't look at how big of a difference that is there.
I know, but forget that. Forget that list. Watch the Niners Bengals Super Bowl. Watch Joe Montana with a minute left. Watch that.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
All right.
But
talk about clutch against the Cowboys in the championship game. All right. Montana's at 2.
5.
He just is. He's the GOAT. This is who everyone on this list grew up watching. All right. It's Montana. He's 2. Number 1.
I got him at 5.
Tom
He's
Brady.
overrated.
And number 1, Tom Brady. No comment there. So that's it. So
yeah, I think here's the thing. Anyone can make an argument for half. I think Tom Brady at number 1, Peyton Manning possibly. I think
2, 3.
Yeah, and then 4, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers are back to back, whichever way you have it.
Brady, Montana, and Manning. You got to put top 4. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think Montana is. I think Montana's 5. But
everyone's list but yours. Top 4 right there. Those 3 have
but
to be the top 4.
So I don't.
No,
Anyways,
I
and
just
then
said don't worry about stats.
you got to worry about it a little bit. Like it's something you got to talk about.
What made his all right? So let's look at
Terry
Montana.
Bradshaw
Hold on,
has
hold on,
4
hold on.
touchdowns.
Let's look
4
at Montana's
rings.
stats. What's so bad about it? 40,000 yards, 273 touchdowns, 139 picks,
Yeah.
63.2 completion rate.
Drew
That's
Brees
not
has double
bad
that.
stats.
Peyton Manning has double that. Tom Brady has double that. Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers
shit.
has about double that.
Like no crap, because they all played 10 more years in the league. Like that's
Yeah,
stupid.
but they
You
did
can't
it at a
compare
better
that.
level. They
You
did it
can't
at a
compare
better
that.
level.
You can't compare that. It was a different game. They threw the ball a lot more. They played 10 plus
I
years.
still think it matters. I just
It
think I
doesn't.
love Joe
It
Montana. I think
doesn't.
he's
If you
good,
want
but
to
I just
take,
don't think he's
if
better
you
than any
want
of
to
those
take,
4.
if you want to take 10 years of Breeze and then compare it to 10 years of Montana,
You put
maybe,
any of these 4 guys
maybe
on
you
the
could do
same
that.
team and they're doing the same thing. Any
I
of
don't
these
know.
4 guys.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that,
I mean, he had a good team around him.
bro. Breeze, like I know, I don't care about what little stat thing said because guess what? All those games are probably in the regular season. Breeze and Rodgers are not as clutch as Joe Montana.
Yeah, but then you talk about playoffs, and then Drew Brees came
Facts.
back multiple times just to get screwed by either his team
Who
or
cares?
the refs.
So was Aaron. So was Aaron.
No, Aaron Rodgers screwed himself multiple times. So
Dude, what are we talking about?
did he? How did the Packers lose a couple years ago? They didn't. They lost to a special teams touchdown because they barely could
A
score.
special teams touchdown.
Yeah,
Then hold on. Then let's bring it
but it
back
shouldn't
even
matter.
more. Let's bring it back even more though. 2019 against San Fran, they lost because they let Raheem Mostert run for 300 yards on them. Let's bring it back
Yeah,
even
I
more.
agree. That
2016
one, yeah.
against Larry Fitzgerald, Aaron Rodgers didn't have his top 3 receivers going into that game against the number 2 seeded Arizona Cardinals, who were awesome that year.
Yeah, it was like the one year they were relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, he took that. He made that go to OT. And the first play of OT, Larry Fitzgerald went right down the field and scored
What
a
year?
touchdown. Hold on, 2014, right? Seattle. We're talking about one of the best defenses of all time, the Legion of Boom, right? Aaron Rodgers does his job. Could he have done more? Absolutely. He did his job. They're winning by 2 scores with
Yeah, no.
I don't know, 6 minutes
I'll give you
left.
that game
Guess
is
what?
one of the worst chokes
They lose an
of all
OT
time.
and they drop the onside kick.
Yeah,
Like
and
so,
here's what I'll say.
yeah, but you
Here's-
can't say that though. You
Here's
can't
what I'll
say
say.
like Rodgers. Rodgers has
Yeah,
been
but he
screwed a
wasn't.
lot in the playoffs too. He
Yeah,
has.
but not at the same level. And here's the
has.
thing. Here's the thing. I'll
Yeah,
say
but I
he
don't.
was
I,
screwed,
I
and
don't.
and the team did choke. Like the team did choke around him.
He did.
But there are years where it's like he didn't perform as well as he should have for what he did in the
Absolutely.
regular season.
Absolutely.
And
And
I'll
so
say
does,
that
and so does Breeze. You telling me Breeze was amazing every time in the playoffs?
he was pretty damn good every year. Yeah,
He wasn't, though.
except for the year he retired, where he threw 3 picks against the Bucks. And here's the thing.
So that's
After-
one. Hold on, that's
and-
one.
and-
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about. I know it was a big foul. I know he hit the receiver, but guess what? Breeze gets the ball in overtime. He throws
Yeah,
a pick.
and he got
And he
crushed
throws a
when
pick.
throwing the ball. That's not. I'm not. I agree. He did throw a pick there, but if it was just a normal pick where hey he threw a pick, like
He
fine.
threw a pick.
He got
He
hit
got
as
hit.
he was throwing it. Like that's not.
got
I'm
hit.
not gonna get. I'm
And
not gonna
that's-
play against him.
And that's he got hit throwing a pick, right? Because the guy came and just hit him straight up, right? There's
Yeah, in
nothing
the head,
fancy. He just
yeah.
got right in the middle. I hit him in the head, right? And
Yeah,
that's
which was
and
called
that's
roughing the
hold
pass
on.
the whole year.
Exactly, and that's where we separate the QBs, and that's why we put Aaron Rodgers ahead because guess what?
I just said he got hit as he was throwing.
Listen. I know. Watch that play again. The guy came straight up the middle.
No,
Rodgers
he's from the
hold on.
side.
Yeah, but even from the side, Rodgers spins out of that. Breeze was not mobile like that, right? So
Okay, I'll
that's
pull up
something
a
you gotta
play against the
factor in.
49ers where he spins out of
factor
2.
in.
Okay, and then there's the play against the Falcons where he basically had the game leading drive where he spun and made 2 defenders miss.
Right, but he wasn't as
Drew Brees
mobile.
could do it when he needed to.
I know,
Could
but
do
he
it when
wasn't as
needed to.
mobile as Aaron Rodgers.
He's still pretty damn elusive in the pocket.
Grayson, he was not as mobile as
He
Aaron
can't
Rodgers.
run. He can't run. No, he can't get past
So
once he's
just
past
say
the line
it.
of
So
scrimmage.
just say it.
But
So
in the
just say it.
pocket,
say
Drew
it.
Brees was elusive.
So just say it though.
What? I am. Drew Brees was elusive
Say
in the pocket.
Aaron Rodgers more mobile than Drew Brees.
I did. I
'Cause he
said that.
was.
Drew Brees, yeah. Aaron Rodgers, once he get past the line of scrimmage, he can run a little bit more. Drew Brees was not ahead of the line of
Yeah,
scrimmage
but
kind of
even
guy.
in the
He
pocket,
can move around in the pocket.
Rodgers
Drew
has
Brees was mobile as hell in the pocket.
Rodgers
That's one of
has
the
like
things.
the best pocket awareness ever. It's unbelievable.
Drew Brees
in
is
the pocket.
right up there. Drew Brees is 5'11", mind you, and he was navigating the pocket around all those huge 6'3", 6'5", 6'6" dudes, and he's moving around the pocket, and he was referred to as like the first great short quarterback, one of them, because he was not supposed to be a guy that could throw over the line of scrimmage. and he would elude the line of scrimmage, the tall defenders in his face, hands up, everything,
Yeah.
and then elude the blitz. And
Yeah. But he's not as mobile as Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, ahead of the line of scrimmage, sure. But in
That's
the pocket, I
more
think
than
it's just the
Rodgers.
same. I think in the pocket, it's just
I
the
don't
same.
know about that,
They're
dude.
not.
I don't know about
Anyway,
that.
we're getting into the Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees debate
That's
again.
stupid.
We gotta
That's
get out of this.
I don't know about that.
We gotta get out of it.
All right,
'Cause we're
whatever.
gonna argue
But you know
forever.
what? I don't know what we're talking about, but like, I don't know. We're talking about Rodgers and Breeze. Whatever. They're close.
It's-
They're close. You can look at. Everyone can make a list. They're gonna be close in every list. They just are, right?
Here, let's say this. Let's say everyone, when you're watching this, just put in your comments. Put in the
Just
comments
Breeze or Rodgers
your list.
all the time.
Put your list. And here's the thing I'll say is, it's my goat and your goat, and we're gonna argue for
Absolutely.
him. We're gonna argue for him
Absolutely.
every single time. Like that's just how it is.
Absolutely.
So I think through and through, like we're diehard fans. It's what happens. We're gonna always argue about it, and
hmm
I think that's just how it works.
Someone's right. Someone's wrong.
And we'll never find who's who. So we gotta
all right,
we'll cut this segment off because we're going way long with this debate.
We'll end it there. We'll end it there. So, hey, if you agree, disagree, let's hear it in the comments. Send your top 10 list in the comments. We want to see yours. And say whose list was better, me or Jenks. But we want to hear it. We want to hear it all. But yeah, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Hammer Pod, and on
YouTube,
YouTube and Apple Podcasts
and Spotify.
Jenks Hammer Podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!